This is the Archangel 2210 here to talk to you finally about Once Upon a Time, about what happened so far, and what I think will happen in the coming season. Now I want to do this before it came back in January, because a lot has happened so far in the past 7 episodes, and we've gotten a lot of pieces of the jigsaw puzzle of what drove the crazy evil queen to try and destroy Snow White. And it's like, at first I thought it was they had it where Snow White was possibly responsible for the father's death by accident, and then she blamed her. That wasn't the case. It was the queen did it on purpose. The queen actually killed the king. So I was like, all right. So then later on in that episode, um, she said that she told her a secret, and she couldn't keep her mouth shut about it. So it's like, now I'm kind of intrigued. What was that secret that kind of drove her crazy, made her snap? So it's like a little bit has been revealed to us, and it's also been revealed that the curse can be broken in a way that they can get their memories back with the sheriff. And I thought they were going to have it where the sheriff got his memories back, and he was going to work alongside with them, and because Emma, she's still in this town and everything, she's in there, but she doesn't really fully believe that the curse is real. She just kind of playing along with Henry, just to make him happy. She herself does not truly believe that the curse is real. And I kind of want something to happen where she'll finally click and wake up and be like, oh wow, this curse really is real. These people really are fairy tale characters. And I thought the sheriff getting his memory back and he'll tell her, and I thought that was finally going to happen. But then it also revealed in an episode, not only does the queen remember everything in Fairy Tale Land, she actually still has her powers. So I truly didn't expect that she would still retain her witchy powers in the real world. I figured since it was fairy tale magic, it really wouldn't work right in our world, type of thing. But she actually had the whole Tomb of Hearts underneath the mausoleum, and she actually just killed the sheriff that way. And of course, they're gonna say he just died of heart failure, that type of thing, come in January. They're probably just gonna say that he died of natural causes, blah blah blah. And she's not gonna connect the dots. But Henry will probably be the only one and say that, oh, she killed the sheriff, type of thing. Now, I I'm trying to think, like, how they're gonna have it where she's gonna break the curse for everybody, because it's almost frustrating, because it's like, alright, she broke the curse for the sheriff because he kissed her. He got his memory back. She didn't actually see what he saw. And just like classic fairy tale magic, the curse is broken through true love's kiss. But she can't go going around kissing everyone in the town. That would just kind of be awkward. Especially for people like Snow White and the Prince, because those are her parents. So that'd be kind of weird. So there has to be some other solution of bringing the memories back, whether um, there be some sort of object that they find from Fairy Tale Land, or some sort of dust, or some sort of way to jolt their memory without it being a kiss. Something she has to do, obviously, because she's the one that's the hope of the whole show. But she herself does not truly believe, and I think she has to just get that childlike whimsy in order to fully believe everything. And she like I said, she doesn't truly believe yet. Now, it's kind of been revealed that almost everyone has made a deal with Rumpelstiltskin at one point or another. And Jiminy Cricket, he made a deal with him. Uh, the Prince, Prince Charming, and I'm also guessing that Snow White made a deal with him as well. Because I was watching the episode that they replayed this past Sunday. That she had a little, um, like a little amulet filled with fairy dust, and she said, "Oh, it was just fairy dust." I'm like, "Oh, fairy dust," and the prince said, "Oh, fairy dust isn't harmful. This one is." It didn't click with me then, but then after I saw that Rumpelstiltskin does a lot of magic, she probably she probably made a deal with him for that type of magic, because Rumpelstiltskin did a similar magic for Jiminy Cricket. Instead of turning them into roaches, he turned the parents into Manura puppets. So I have a feeling that she probably struck a deal with him, and it'll probably be revealed later on in the season that she struck a deal with him. But I'm assuming that's what it is, because who else will give her that amount of power? Who else would give her that dust? And they'll probably show how she found that hiding spot in the tree, um, and I'm also interested in when Cinderella met Snow White, because she invited both Prince Charming and Cinderella at her wedding. So obviously she met both of them at one point. Who knows? Maybe it was at the ball. They all met together. I don't know. So they'll probably play on that somehow where they met all together. But she made a line like as if she knew her before. Where she was like just like the maid. So I'm interested in like how a lot of this stuff is going to be revealed, especially the new episode in January. They're going to reveal kind of how Rumpelstiltskin got his powers in a way, or how it became Rumpelstiltskin, because he looked like a man casting a spell, not as Rumpelstiltskin that we know, but like as ordinary man in fairy tale land. So he probably struck a deal with someone, and then it caused this whole ripple effect. And they're showing this type of thing where, oh, there's this big explosion, and Emma is gonna have to make a choose to save the queen or not. She's gonna save her, even though they're gonna build up this thing, because she's not gonna let her die in a thing of fire. But we'll see in January. But there's a lot of like Rumpelstiltskin. He plays a much bigger role than I ever anticipated. Like I thought the main villain was just gonna be the queen, and that was gonna be it. But they've also played off the fact of Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. Um, she was only one note villain, but I wouldn't be surprised if Maleficent pops up in Storybrooke in some way, as another character, and because she was her only friend through the quote of the Queen, so I wonder if she'll pop up in Storybrooke somehow. Now, they really amplified the darkness that is Rumpelstiltskin, because before in the stories in the original version, he was always just like an annoying imp. He really wasn't threatening. He really wasn't that threatening or anything. Like, but this version of Rumpelstiltskin, he's the height of an average man. Before he's like really short and really small, and he's like he basically has more magic than just the gold thread. And they really painted him as like almost like a devilish type character where he casts these spells, he makes these deals with people, and it's like a deal that you could almost can never get out of, no matter how you try to finagle it. And every episode is just phenomenal. I cannot wait till January. I cannot wait till January, because this show just gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And almost every episode becomes my favorite episode. It's hard to say what is my favorite episode. And I think it'll be really awesome that I doubt they're gonna have anyone get their memories back in season one. I'm sure, providing it goes that long, they're gonna wait till like season five, like the 100th episode. Everyone will get their memories back somehow for like a day, and then it'll get erased again or something. Um, I have a feeling that might happen. Something will happen where everyone gets their memories back for like a day, and then, you know, they'll, and then all of a sudden it'll get erased again. It's just a little, theory what I think will happen. But you know, it's like like I said, I was never a fan of Lost. I'm not familiar with their writing style, but it really works beautifully here, because everything. like, if you watch the episodes out of sequence, for the fairy tale world to be in sequence, you know, a lot of stuff would make a lot of sense. And it's like, the thing is, you can't just write like that randomly, like a lot of shows do. You can't just write randomly and just hope for the best. They must have like an intricate web of like every deal that Rumpelstiltskin had made with every character, and even in future seasons, and like every path and every meeting and every person and everything that every person's ever done, up until a certain point. So it's not just random writing. It's just like, everything is like intricately, like this all these threads that interlock into one point, and it's really fantastic. And it's kind of funny because the whole concept of fairy tales and Snow White living in the modern day kind of reminds me. Actually, it very much reminds me of old show back in the 80s, which was Charmings. Ironically, it was also on ABC, and it was an 80s sitcom that had very much like a 1960s sitcom feel to it, like Bewitched or something, where the evil queen cast a spell on them, where they were sleeping for 1,000 years. They woke up in the 80s, and you know, the evil queen, she was kind of like an Endora type of character, where she was like casting all these spells close to mischief, but some of them weren't exactly that great. And then the magic mirror was always making these wisecracks at her. It's actually kind of pretty funny, and I hope it's on DVD soon. It only lasted 20 episodes. Not any, probably no one will remember it, but it's actually pretty funny. I would suggest checking it out on YouTube.